question if cattle grates can stop a rattlesnake from coming into a property. So the answer is a strong maybe on that. So if it's a little bit difficult for them to go over it, if something is cruising along the fence, then yeah, that might have some effect on them wanting to cross it. But that also means that that gate itself, or the little place that's under it, we often see that snakes can find use for that. It's a shaded area. So any effect that you have to have snakes not coming over it, you could also be at the same time creating a new problem. The second half of that question is how to just keep them from coming up a driveway. And there really isn't a great answer for that. The driveway itself is the biggest deterrent to it. It's going to be too hot. There's no place to hide on there for most of the day, even on mild days. The pavement is not going to be something, or even a dirt road is not going to be something snakes are going to be on quite a bit. So on large properties, it means that you don't really have a lot of options. On smaller properties where you can install a gate, then there are proofing options. There's a lot of different ways that you can make it so that the spaces in that gate come down to within the 1/4 inch or so threshold that you need so that snakes can't get out. But there's really not a great way to keep them from coming up through the driveway itself. So if you do have a property that is large, several acres, we have a fence that goes all the way around it, one of the best things you might be able to do is just to make sure that there's no buildup of tumbleweeds and garbage and plants and blowing stuff along the fence. If you walk along any stretch of fence out in the desert somewhere, you're going to see that there's a lot more vegetation and stuff to hide that sticks to the fence. So keep that cleared out, keep it a wide open space, and then snakes will not find it useful to congregate there. Another thing you can do too, if you wanted to, it can cost a little bit, and it would certainly be more cost effective than hiring a company like us to do a snake fence around the whole thing. That would get pretty ridiculous really fast. Would be to look into companies that do drift fence type mitigation for these things. There's one company called Animex that I have been watching for a while that I like. I would like to incorporate what they do into our services at some point, but at this point, this seems like a really good option for people that have a ranch, have a large area, multiple acres, or an industrial area, to effectively do that, to where the emphasis is not on aesthetics, it's on just keeping snakes out. So I wish I had a more satisfying answer for that, but for the cost, I would not say that putting a cattle grate in would be a good way to keep snakes out of your property.